Hold up, I ain't with that. Devil try to get his lick back. Wow. Pull up.
Welcome to the Blessed Beyond Chaos podcast. I'm your host, Trent Brown, and today's topic is out of Acts 3. Okay, so I'm going to start with a question. Have you ever been so close to something so beautiful, but never actually inside of it? Maybe you were close to change, maybe you were close to healing, and maybe you were even close to a breakthrough. And that's where I want to start this story today. In Acts chapter 3, we meet a man whose entire life is lived at a gate. And I mean literally at a gate. And at the name of that gate, or the name of that gate, matters more than what we think. So let me give you the picture. In Jerusalem, there was a massive entrance to the temple, and it was called the Beautiful Gate. And historians say that it stood around 75 feet high. It was made out of Corinthian brass with double doors. It was impressive. It caught the sunlight, and everyone passed through it on their way to pray. And every day at the gate, there sat a man who could not walk. He was not inside the temple. He was not in the place of worship, but right at the entrance. And that tension is important because this man had been lame since birth. I mean, he was carried there, literally carried there daily to ask people for money. He wasn't a bad man. He wasn't a lazy man. This man was literally just trying to survive in the only way he knew how. So there was a man named Peter and John who walked by, and he does what he always does. He asks for help. He doesn't ask for healing. He doesn't ask for change. He just asks for someone to support him. And if we're honest, that's how many of us pray today. God, help me manage this, or God, make the season easier for me, or God, just get me through it. And we want God to support us in our condition, but not transform us in it. But Peter looks at him and he says something so unexpected, very beautiful. He says, "Silver and gold I do not have, but what I do have, I give you." So in other words, what you expect isn't what you need. And the man expected money, which is something temporary. But God wanted to give him something that was going to move him, something that was permanent. And Peter takes him by the hand, okay? And strength literally enters this man's legs. And for the first time in his entire life, this man stands up. But I don't want you to miss this part. He doesn't just walk away healed. He walks through the gate. The man who lived his whole life outside of the place of worship now enters it. He's walking, he's literally leaping and praising God. So the miracle wasn't just in his legs, it was in his position, where he was put, his place. And the gate was called Beautiful, but the beauty didn't heal him. Righteous things surrounded him, holy people passed him, prayer happened right behind him, and yet he was still broken. What I've come to conclusions with is you can be close to holy things and still need healing. But what gets me is this: the man didn't expect much from God, but God still exceeded his expectations. Grace moved before faith matured, and healing came before his understanding. And sometimes God gives us more than what we're brave enough to ask for. But here's the question I want to leave with you. Where are you asking God for help? Where are you asking God for help when he's offering transformation? And where have you learned to sit? Because you stopped believing you could walk. And maybe today God isn't calling you deeper into effort, he's calling you deeper into expectation. Because the same God who meets us at the gate is the same God who walks us through it. I hope you learned something today, and my encouragement for you is get up and walk. And walk into a season of expectation this year. I hope you learned something, and I hope you feel blessed. Thank you for tuning in, and I love you guys. Catch you on the next episode.
Look, I got flows cutting the soul, cleaner than tummy tucks. Lot of the antics getting old, but God ain't done with us. Told him Jesus taking the wheel. He told